Hello Battle Cats players, my name is Chance and welcome to my guide. Today we have a fairly interesting cat for you, really because of the history and usability of this cat. But still, I hope some of you will find it informative if nothing else. Today we're going to be talking about Swordsman Cat. This rare cat can be unlocked by playing the rare cat capsules, and is one of the more interesting enemies in terms of use cases. In any case, as always, it is my hope that through explaining really everything there is to know about Swordsman Cat, you can make a more informed decision on not only how to best use him, but how to best invest into him, if at all. Let's start by first taking a look at Swordsman Cat's various evolutions. Starting out with Swordsman Cat, whose description reads, trained in a certain game to become a magical swordsman. Very effective battle cat. Fire sword deals massive damage to red enemies. Then at level 10 it will become Sword Master Cat. Mastered the art of dual wielding, can also use magic, scary combination. Flame swords do massive damage to red enemies. Then at level 30 plus some Catfruit and XP it will true form into Elemental Duelist Cat. So in tune with his blades that he can now command the forces of nature themselves. Flames do massive damage to red enemies. I also do want to point out, this cat has probably one of the cooler designs in the game. Certainly its true form is very, very pleasing to look at. Now then, let's take a look at his overall performance and talk pros and cons. Firstly, his class is considered to be a melee unit being one that has a range of 1 to 249 and gets up close and personal. Under pros, you have fast attack rate, fine health, short recharge time, and good DPS. Under cons, you have short range and single target. As far as other considerations go, you have deals massive damage against red enemies, which means you're either dealing 3 or 4 times damage to that specific type, depending on what kind of treasures you have unlocked. And while it kind of looks like this cat isn't really that great given the short range and single target, its fast attack rate and spam ability more or less make up for that. Now then, let's talk about strategy and check out some gameplay. Firstly, as far as cost is concerned, Chapter 1 this unit will cost 420 cents, Chapter 2 630, and Chapter 3 840 cents. Now, the way to look at Swordsman Cat is you want to treat him as a stronger, more aggressive axe cat. He's cheap, fairly easily stackable, and a large amount of them can actually dominate quite a few stages. This makes up for his single target weakness, and his range isn't all that bad. He can actually outrange quite a few of the more popular anti-red units, which is nice. Crimson Catastrophe, Red Alert, and Floor 21 are typically stages where Elemental Cat can do some work. As far as his true form goes, Elemental Duelist Cat is very, very good against red enemies, even when comparing it to some of the more notable anti-red units. Granted, given his fragility, it makes sense to employ proper meat shielding whenever you're using Elemental Duelist. However, it's time to address the elephant in the room. That, of course, being the infamous Courier Cat. In probably about 80% of scenarios, Courier Cat wins out over Elemental Duelist Cat. The most notable exception being One Horn, who can actually get inside Courier's blindspot and obliterate him from there. There is some argument to be made for a mix of Courier and Elemental Duelist Cat, but ultimately most stages can be done with either one or the other. It is also worth noting that Cameraman Cat is a safer alternative for the most part to Elemental Duelist Cat, although with a steep drop off when compared to red enemies. Now then, seeing as there's no applicable cat combos for this cat, let's hop right into the Catfruit you're going to need to true form him. You're going to need 3 green seeds obtainable every Monday, 2 purple seeds obtainable every Tuesday, 2 blue seeds obtainable every Thursday, 1 yellow seed obtainable every Friday, and 2 red fruits obtainable every Wednesday. And the obligatory 200,000 XP. And I'm just going to flash a couple of the stat screens pertaining to Swordsman Cat, as well as read out some trivia. Elemental Duelist Cat bears a striking resemblance to a Xenoblade character who also has a similar monocle-like attachment. He could also be based off of Lloyd Irving from the Certain games, namely the Tales of Symphonia. Both have a similar hairstyle, and Elemental Duelist Cat has Lloyd's signature dual swords, one blue in the right hand and red in his left. I'm actually 99% sure I've played Tales of Symphonia on the Wii of all things, although I'm not 100% sure about that. While flashing these screens, I'm just going to quickly bring up, I want to thank everyone for all of the support in the channel lately. It's definitely been very impactful. By this point in time, I kind of expected us to have already hit 1,000 subscribers. If we have, great. If we haven't, please help us get there. We're so friggin' close, man. Granted, we still need a ton more watch time before we're monetized, but still, 1,000 subscribers is definitely quite the milestone. Now then, let's talk about talents. There's Resist Weaken, which reduces weaken duration by 16%, and this improves by 6% per level up to 70% total, for a total NP cost of 75. Target Angel for 50 NP, Defense and Attack buff, which increase their respective traits by 2% per level up to 20% for a total NP cost of 75 each, and Recover Speed Up, which reduces recharge time by about 0.0 seconds, and improves by 0.0 seconds up to a total of 0.67 seconds. For 75 NP. Now, as far as these talents are actually concerned, the only one I would consider to be good, I guess, would be the Target Angel, as it makes him really twice as useful. Granted, because of the range of a lot of the Angel enemies, he's not as useful as he is for Reds, but with proper meat shielding and timing, he can actually deal a pretty good amount of damage. Resist Weaken is probably the worst of the bunch, just because Weaken so rarely comes up, and given the spammable nature of this unit, odds are it's not going to make a huge difference one way or another. Defense, Attack, and Recover are really only applicable if you've already gotten this unit to a fairly high level, and they're meant to be treated as more icing on the cake than anything else. Really, at the end of the day, it depends how much NP you have access to and how much of it you're willing to splurge. Swordsman Cat is kind of an awkward unit to invest into, simply because of the domination, for lack of a better term, of the anti-red space by Courier Cat. At the end of the day, he does stand on his own merit, and when combined with Courier, he really is an unstoppable powerhouse, assuming you're meat shielding properly, of course. But ultimately, it's very likely that that combination is going to be overkill for a lot of the stages, assuming you're leveled accordingly. There is also the subject of the Orb that is worth bringing up. The clear choice here is massive damage to Reds, however, health up against Angels can both work. Ultimately, it depends on how you're using him more than anything else. If you're using him against Angel enemies, probably the Angel Orb makes more sense. If you're using him more against Red enemies, massive damage to Reds makes the most sense. Now that you know what I think about Swordsman Cat, let's hear what all of you had to say about him. Cross/01 says, he teaches beginners the way of the sword. He's an inspiration to the team. Yeah, I could see this. I mean, at least if it weren't for Brave Cat, who you technically get earlier and who also has a sword, but whatever. The guy 6680 says, so close to being good, he just needs to be faster. I don't know if I agree with this. I definitely think more speed would help him out, but I think more range would really open a lot of doors for this cat. And the ever-present Bee-Eater says, he's a great unit, good damage, high spam ability with decent HP, as well as suited to fight Reds due to Red enemies having shorter range, and has many uses, especially if you're a Chad like me and don't use Courier. 8 out of 10 F Courier. There's also this sentiment as well, but probably less common. Cat Cream 6802 says, Courier ruins the unit. Yeah, I kinda see this. At I'm Freaking Stupid says, yeah, 6.5 out of 10. Amaloscato 298 Silica says, bad cat, not even too good to Red. I think he's fairly useful if meat shielded properly. However, with the high competition of Red units, it's hard to say. And Courier Cat says, get couriered again, which, yeah, fair enough. And if you would like to be featured in this part of the video, be sure to comment on the relevant community section post. And that's really all there is to say about Swordsman Cat. If I missed anything or could have explained anything better, please feel free to let me know down beneath in the comment section. And let me know what your experience with Swordsman Cat has been like thus far or currently. Thank you so much for everyone who watched until this point. It certainly means a lot to me. In addition to that, don't forget to like and subscribe for Cat God's blessing on your next gacha roll. And as always, I'll be talking to you guys soon.